It's Tuesday. You know what time it is. It is time for a view from the South Stand, and it's transfers and gossip with Ashmatic. Ashmatic, hope you are well, mate. How you doing?
Brother, I'm blessed, man. How are you, bro?
I am good. I am good. Well, it's obviously Tuesday. Obviously, I had a match today, which has kind of skewed things a little bit. But Spurs organised this stuff at the last minute. But we still got transfers to talk about. We still got a lot. Everyone's probably looking for the match reaction, but we will talk about it. But first of all, let's bring out our guest for this week. We always have one guest. Let's bring him on. Jamie, I hope you are well, mate. How you doing?
I'm all good, brother. How you guys keeping?
We're all good. We're all good.
Bless.
Decent. Good to hear. Good to see you lot. It's good.
So let's first of all talk about the game tonight quickly, right? Because obviously we have to. We can't ignore it. 4-2, Ash. 4-2.
Yep.
What did you make of it?
Game of two halves. We brought out a B team. Everyone was suspecting the worst. I heard 5-0, 7-0 quoted out. Lots of people were thinking that defense would be terrible. And to be fair, they were right to some degree. But that first 45 minutes, I'd even go to say as far as maybe the first 50 minutes, we actually played ball cuts. Because you see, like the first goal, everyone was panicking, like, oh, here we go again. Reguilon can't defend, Sanchez, blah, blah, blah. And it was that, because we did get caught out. We went to sleep. It was the first 4 to 5 minutes. They did damage. And even they gave us a warning before that goal even went in. We got caught with our pants down. But, hey, that's what we're working with. We look at our defenders and they lack pace. They lack concentration. And at times, they lack positional awareness. They don't know where to be on the pitch. And they're still getting used to this, the back four. Some of them, they might have been used to that back three under Conte. Big up Scott M. Thank you very much. Yeah, they might have been used to that.
Still got jokes, Scott M. Still got jokes.
But yeah, man. I just felt after that, it's like we started playing our type of football. Like we were getting pressed, but we weren't scared to play out from the back and take our time and then like just attack them. Everyone thought Barcelona was going to dominate us, and you looked at their first 11 and you thought, raw, world class. And you look at our first 11 and you're like, boy, it's going to be a long night. But to be fair to the boys, like for me, I've said it all along, this Suma is the jelly. Like if he ain't a 6, I don't know what is. Like that's all I got to say. If he ain't a DM, I don't know what they want. What do you want from your DM? Like, what do you want? Like the way he was pulling strings left, right, center. They tried to press him. I'm pretty sure the Barcelona scoutings are looking at him like, right, who is he? How old is he? Like, you get me, doing their research. Because Basuma, anytime they tried to press him, he just dipped his shoulder, trod on the ball, went one way, then the other, and was able to beat the press and then find a play at the end of it. Time and time he did that. And even certain times he was getting in the final third and doing that. Do you know what I mean? I just want to see, the only critique I can say from Basuma is when he gets into that box, I just want to see him put his foot through it. Like I want to see him shoot a lot more because he just got that in him. Like he can actually dance left foot, right foot if he wants to and just run into the box and do damage. But to be fair, we've been brushing Skip. I've got to give it an honourable mention. Skip did his thing. He scored 2 goals. Before that, I was like, he was giving away the ball.
Do you know what? Like, I've been a big critic of Skip, but I've seen something of him in the last couple of games under Ange, where he's playing completely different. And it's not the first time. If you take the West Ham game as well, how many chances is he getting?
Box to box. He's getting in the box. He's getting a lot more forwards.
But the same could have been said for Sarr as well. So the position that they're both now playing seems to be they are box to box. It's just going to, because obviously Sarr had chances against Shakhtar on the weekend. But to give Skip his credit where credit's due, and look, I'm always going to give, if I don't like you, but you play well, I'm going to sit there and say, you did the job.
It is what it is.
Yeah, he scored 2 goals. Nothing else fantastic.
Go on,
Jake,
Jake.
let me bring you on this because I don't know how, you didn't catch much of the game, right?
Yeah, no, I just see some of the
gonna-
highlights and the live commentary. But to touch on what Ash said, I think Basuma's going to be our standout guy this year. I was saying that from before. I think last year he came in, a few injuries, didn't know what he was doing, wrong manager, wrong positioning. But I think this year, I think he's going to be our guy, you know. And to touch on what we said with Skip, you know, like when Skip first come on the scene, I was like, oh, this guy, he's a youngster, English guy, yeah. We have something good here, you know. And then he just declined quickly, massively, you know. I thought he's just another Tom Carroll, you know what I mean? He's one of these guys, you know what I mean? He's another Mason. Like obviously Mason was all right, but I think he's got a lot to prove, you know, and he's come with some good rep. You know, Mourinho saying he's the future captain and whatnot, you know. So I'm when I see the first, you know, the lineup at first, I thought, here we go. Do you know what I mean? Barca, I seen strength in there, 11 to ours. I thought, oh God, but I heard Basuma put a good innings in. Her Sanchez was decent as well, you know, the first 80 minutes.
Really? Boy! Hey!
Yeah. So I heard Sanchez was...
So Jamie, I'm going to give you some stats, right? Because obviously you didn't catch the whole game. So I'm just going to give you some stats, right? And what you make of it, right? So shots, 14 each.
Yeah, I see the possessions,
shots, yeah. Shots on target, Barca had 8, we had 6. Possession was 56 Barca, 44% Spurs. Passes 501 to Barca had 501, we had 394. Pass accuracy was exactly the same, which was 88%. Barcelona made more fouls. They made 16, we made 14. 1 yellow card, which I believe was Basuma.
Yeah.
Offsides was 3 each. We had more corners, 9 to 8. Now, if you saw those stats and you haven't even watched the game.
Yeah, well, you've been right. Well, listen, no one, we would never have more possession than ever. Never. Come on, Barcelona. They're arguably their strongest team out there, you know. But if you look at what we had in the last couple of games, our attacking, our shots on goal is, like, I've never seen nothing like that I can remember. You know, like the amount of shots we're having, you know what I mean? So you can't really, you know what I mean, be too disappointed with them, you know. It was our second string team per se, you know. It's not a bad performance, you know. The only worrying thing is to concede such late on again, you know what I mean? That's the kind of thing that we're used to, you know. And if you look at our pre-season, the goals versus conceded, you know, yes, we have scored and had a lot of shots on goal, but we still conceded a fair few again, you know what I mean? It goes to prove, you know what I mean, where we're weak, you know, we're really weak. You know, where we're strong, we're very strong. You know, it's just having that balance. So, it's you know, there's still work to be done. You know, you know what I mean. So I'm confident. I'm still quietly confident. You know, I'm quietly confident. You know, things are good.
I'm gonna bring you in here, right? If I said to you, right, every goal came from the left-hand side down Regulon side.
Yeah.
Right, and other defenders will get blamed. Don't get me wrong, other people get blamed. But if I said to you, they all come from Regulon's side, and he's meant to be an all-season pro. He's back in his home country, right? He's meant to know La Liga, right? But yeah, he's out of position. He's not getting back in time. He's getting turned. What did you make of Regulon today?
But I knew his defending stunk. Like, I knew we had a fullback that just couldn't defend. Everyone was like, "Oh, give him a chance, rare tear." I said, "Nah, going forward, he can whip a ball." I can't lie. Like when he's on job and he's going forward, he provides something extra, and he helps like the wing forward or whoever's in front of him that extra yard, because he's kind of either doing an overlapping run or he's underlapping, he's coming inside, he's offering something, and he just knows when to time those runs. But going on the way back, I can see why Conte was like, "Nope, you ain't coming on my team."
And you have to look at it, because if he's gonna play Porro one side and Regulon the other, it can't happen. He's got to have some happy medium in there.
It was evident. It was so clear today, and like by the end of it, my man pulled up his hamstring because the way my man turned him, no, I can't even do it. I said, "Yeah, you're done. You're done out here." Like,
so,
go on.
Yeah, so we've done on Regulon, right? But let's talk about Sanchez and Dyer quickly, right? Because yes, Sanchez probably made. I did blame Sanchez for the first goal, but it's one of them. It's a typical Sanchez mistake.
I blame Regulon.
But after all the goals coming from Regulon,
don't get it.
But what I noticed was going on down. I was blaming him at first until I realised, right, it's the way Ange wants him to play.
Yeah.
if you notice, he keeps going forward, and the
Yeah.
ball keeps then getting in behind. Now, it explains the role Van de Ven is going to play
Yes.
just by what Sanchez did today, right?
Yes.
And I went, you know what? Actually, because it happened against West Ham, and it's now happened against today, where he's just been cool, and the ball's been played in behind, and he can't catch because he's quick. Sanchez is quick.
Yes, he's a fast player. He's a fast defender.
Yeah, so he just gets caught out. But
Yeah.
both of them tonight, considering a lot of us have won them out, how do you think they got on?
Hey, Dyer, sorry, like the amount of hate Sanchez has got, like, I mean, physically in the stadium. And obviously Dyer's got hate like online, but like the comparison is mad. Like when you say, like, when Sanchez touched the ball at White Hart Lane or Tottenham Stadium, sorry, it was crazy. Where was that energy for Dyer? Because today Dyer just stopped running. It's like he just said to his head, fuck it, I ain't doing it no more. I ain't running no more. Because those last 2 goals, I thought at least he's going to try and run back, trap back, stick a toe out, stretch a leg. Nothing. Passive. He just said, oh, fuck it. Like, when I watched the goal go in, it felt like it was in slow motion. It was mad. I watched it happen. I was like, go on then, run back. Do something. He just said, no, you know what? It's a goal. Allow it. It's done. It's done. And I think this is the reason why Ange just knows, like, raw, this defense needs work. I'm not happy. He came out with it publicly, more or less, and said, yeah, the type of football I play, I need pace. He said it straight. He said, look, I'm not taking responsibility for this type of shit show. I'm not gonna lie. Anything that happens is because of these men, not me. It's not that ain't Ange ball. You see this?
Yeah. Unfortunately, he's gonna keep one of them though. You know that. He's gonna keep one of them.
Yeah, but well, Jamie, actually, let me just bring Jamie quickly in here. Now, I want to go on Jazz Jones' comment here, right? So he says none of them defenders that play tonight will play against Brentford. I kind of disagree. I've got a feeling Dyer might play instead of Davis. Because I don't think Van de Ven's going to come in.
Yeah, I don't think he'll come in yet.
So he's got Sanchez, Tanganga, Davis, and Brett Dyer to choose from. So who's going to partner Romero at the weekend if Romero's fit?
You could go Davis though, you know. He could, because he seems to be a sure thing in pre-season. He's personally, I don't know who I'd go with, to be honest. You know, it's whatever you do, it's a risky call. You know, you'd like to think Van de Ven's going to go straight in, but I agree with you. I don't think he's going to go straight in. You know, I think he's going to go. I think he could go Dyer just for the sheer experience of him in the Premiership. I think he might go Dyer. You know.
I mean, to be fair, that's how managers normally do it. They kind of like bed plays in slowly, rather than. I mean, obviously he's young as well. So you don't want his first experience against Brentford. They're flipping the ball over the top of him, and oh, then the fans are like, "Oh my days, we just bought this guy. He's shit, getting on the player." Like, it's got to be positive.
Yeah,
for young players.
Premiership's the whole. It's a whole different ball game. You know what I mean? It's a lot difficult, a lot faster, a lot stronger. You know, you say he's a youngster. You know, he's coming into the Premiership. You know, it's going to be a wake up call for anyone coming in. You know, so I don't think Tanganga's got a shot, to be honest. You know, much I like him, he ain't got a shot. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, I think his time's up now. You know, I'd like him to stay because he's gone through the academy and whatnot. You know, he seems a level-headed gentleman, but I think it's going to be Dyer, and Romero. You know, I think they're going to be 2 starting.
I don't know. Like, I think
before you continue, this is my pups, right? He's a gooner, and he's been listening to me way too long. This is exactly what I've been telling him. But we both watched Celtic together, so I just had to shout out. But carry on, Ash.
No, I was gonna say, like, I just feel like Ange prefers a left-footed centre back rather than a right-footed centre back playing left-footed at a left back position. So I've got a sneaky feeling that he might have to put Davies in, even though he hasn't got any pace or anything like that. But then, like you said, he might have Udogie there, and Udogie might give a certain command because he's gonna know, like,
the reason why, and I think he'll go with Dyer, is exactly what you just said, and Luke has kind of agreed, where Dyer just down tools. Like you said, if Udogie and it'd probably be Royale, right? But is he not then going to think, I can't have a steaming centre back going forward, right? Davis is not the quickest. Dyer will sit there and play ball. Unfortunately, he will. So is that not the type of defender he might put next to Romero's just going to go AWOL.
Yeah.
Otherwise, against
We're
Brentford.
saying
So,
that it's the same too as last year, isn't it?
Yeah.
Arrow, you know what I mean? Like, look what happened last year. It's 60 plus goals. I mean, it's, you know, say we do start Royale and Destiny. There's only one new change in the back four, you know.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's we're still playing with fire with the back four, you know. I think no matter how we look at it and what we put in the jigsaw, it's still going to be similar until we get Van der Ven in there, you know.
I think personally that Idoji will start, and you'll have Emerson Royal. Certain times he's going to just drop back into centre back role just for that protection, because he's got a bit of pace himself. If Romero's going to go bombing forward and going mad,
Captain Grandma is like, this is the only reason why I think he won't go Sanchez is exactly what you're saying. Romero's going to bomb forward too, and yeah, Basuma's going to hold, but Basuma wants to go forward. Like literally, he will want to go. If he plays like he did tonight, he'll want to be part of that attack because that's what he was doing. So it'd be quite interesting.
What do you think? What do you think, Marlon? Do you think seeing how Sanchez played today, and obviously
I'm meant to be hosting.
I can't be a host as well. Why can't we all be a host?
Carry on.
You're in the comments. You're in the comments as well. You could be a host too. No, I'm just throwing it out there. Like Sanchez has had a terrible season, rare tear, but I think Dyer had a terrible season too. And I don't know, like, I'm not saying, like, I think Sanchez is up for sale, but I just saw Dyer's performance today, and he just, like, I know it's a preseason friendly, don't read into it too much, and obviously they're trying to get minutes. Clearly their fitness just went down with the last 10 or 15 minutes. You saw what happened with Basuma. Basuma dropped on the floor, and he was like, yeah, no, I'm done. I'm done. So that's when we conceded the goals. As soon as Basuma went off, boom, 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 boom. Literally, regular.
Yeah, do you know what, right? He made a mistake because he brought on Papa Sarr as well. And Papa Sarr can't play that role. Against Newcastle, we saw it. Exactly. As you know, and we're going to concede goals. For me, the last 10 minutes, I don't really include because once he made the subs, it just derailed us. Yeah. I have to take the 2 goals we conceded and go and look at the performance up to then. And I'll go, you know what? It was okay. I'm more than happy to watch that all season if it comes down to it. At the end of the day, if Van der Ven's going to be in there, Romero's going to be in there. We're looking at Destiny and probably Emerson Royal.
Yeah, I think that's the 4.
Yeah. Jamie, how would you feel if that was the back 4 going into Sunday?
My personal opinion, I think Dyer is going to start, but
I think he's going to start as well for some reason.
I would personally rather Sanchez just for the pace element of it. But I think he's going to go Dyer. From his sheer experience, I think Dyer's going to, sit in there. I don't know what Dyer's got over these managers that we've had in the past. He always seems to creep his way back into 11. I don't know. Dyer's on my hit list. I used to be a fan of these. In saying that, even last year, when Conte first came in, let's not kid no, and he started doing all right, and he's got back in the England team somehow, and he wasn't too bad. But the problem is that he's just so many mistakes in him, too many. And I think Dyer's time's up with us now. He's been there, how many seasons has he been with us now? It's time to move him on,
Dyer's dead. Look, he's actually he can't turn.
He's so stiff. He's got
the pace. He ain't got it. Like you just said, he's stiff. He's like a scarecrow. You know what I'm saying? He just can't. He can't move. It's like
I think we need another one. Like say Van der Ven comes in with Romero and Van der Ven, but then there's still, we still need another. You know what I mean? Another half decent centre back in there ready to come in. Davies, he could do the job if need be, but would you like him as our backup centre back? Not really. You know what I mean? No, I wouldn't. No. You know what I mean? I think if an offer came in for him that was half decent, I don't think we'd turn it down. Personally. But then I thought we would get Longley coming back. Not that I think he's fantastic, but I think he's still brought a little bit of.
I get what you mean. I think he's going to be a last day if we don't get any more.
Yeah, I've had a price point at the price point we could get him for.
No, you're right.
Yeah,
I think he's waiting for us, and we're kind of waiting for him. Kind of scenario.
Not even a choice of mine to get him. I thought just for the sheer price point of it, they want to offload players. It'll be an easy.
So, just wanted to quickly answer this one from Ezima72. And Ndombele got injured.
That was it.
That was the reason.
The problem is now,
the problem is now is that Lo Celso has played really well. Well, Ange likes Lo Celso. Whether he's played well or not is a totally different question. But I think Ange likes Lo Celso, and it's either one or the other. I think that's what it's down to when it comes to Ndombele. But let's talk about the goalkeeper situation for a second, right? And I just want to get your thoughts. I've said it for a couple of weeks. I've watched him for a couple of games, and I'm not highly convinced. Ash, start with you. What are you feeling about Vicario?
Wow, your eyes don't lie. Your eyes don't lie. There's certain times now, like he does the goalkeeper thing where he makes like a hero save, like like them spectacular ones where it's going over the bar already, but he gets his hand to it. It makes it look like that much more audacious, like boom. But more time, he doesn't need to touch it. Like he's going wide already. He's going out wide. He gets his hand to it, and I'm like, bro, he could have just left that. Do you know what I'm trying to say? But as a keeper, I don't know. Even at time, like my man came out for the header, he almost got lobbed, and he had to put his hand to it. He just looks a bit flustered to me. I'm just not convinced either. I don't get that reassurance from him. Like when you've got a big keeper and you just feel calm, like he just settles that back four. He talks to them. He's like commanding. When you got a keeper, you want your keeper to be talking, setting that back four along with the centre backs. I just don't see it. I don't buy into it. I think he's a young keeper. I think he's going to need time. Just like Ange's going to need time to build the defense. So to get like your Dyers out, to get your Davies out, that's going to need time as well. But I feel like the same with the goalkeeper. I feel like he's a project. I think he's a project keeper. So I'm not convinced. I don't think he's that guy. Like playing out from the back, meh.
Personally, I thought he was going to be a lot better than he has been in the last few games. I think that's been more. I was thinking look, the fact that he doesn't command his box, right? I can give it up if everything else was spot on. But I'm looking at the last couple of games going.
I feel like he's working on it. The ones that's what I mean by project. Not say like to this man to say raw project, you're useless. I'm saying project like he's in the process of becoming something, if that makes sense. The man's got potential, he could be something, but like he's not that yet, if that makes sense. So when he's goalkeeping, I just feel I'm watching him and I'm like, I just need a bit more assertiveness, just a little bit more decision making. I need you to look around to know when to kind of go for it, when not to go for it. Like he's just making small little, and I'm being like harsh. I'm looking at details. You see what I'm trying to say?
I think we're looking at he's making mistakes for a goalkeeper that in the Premier League you ain't gonna get away with.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we ain't got the defense to do it. Jamie, how are you feeling about Vicario? I know you haven't seen today, but
I'm not convinced of them either. To be fair, it's going to be hard for us to get someone to fill Hugo's boots. You know what I mean? Regardless of the last couple of seasons, but he's been a legend for us. Apart from
I agree.
He's been phenomenal, and to be honest, there's not that many bad keepers out there. So
no.
I think he's very, very unproven. The fact we've gone from Raya to him. You know what I mean? Someone's proven in the Premiership that we could have got if we really wanted. He's unproven, he's young, but the Premierships are different. It's a different, you know what I mean? It is pre-season, so I'll give him that benefit. Not that it means anything, really, but, considering we've got him, like Hugo's not, I think he's gone now. Like, I don't think he'll make the bench anymore. Do you know what I mean? So obviously Whiteman. So it's not strong. It's not strong, but it's still early days. So give him the benefit of the doubt.
Question for you, right? You've seen the fee that Arsenal have agreed with Raya to Brentford. Yeah. Do you think Spurs should match it?
Well, now in this present.
Right now, if Spurs should go out and match it and go,
they won't. As much as we want them to, they won't.
But we can give them first team football, guaranteed.
That's the thing. That's what I was thinking about. Why would Arsenal buy it? But they're just kind of replicating what City do, having 2 11s. You know what I mean?
But even City don't have their second choice goalkeepers. Never really someone who's a first team goalkeeper. It's usually someone
good that he still trusts him to start him in finals and whatnot. You know what I mean? You're getting our team.
So, question. And this was another question I'm going to ask you, Jamie. Right? So, do you think for Raya to be going to Arsenal, right? Do you think he's been promised the cup games, and that includes the Champions League?
Or he thinks he's better than what's there?
Well, the weirdest thing is that Arsenal tried to sign him, I think 2 years back before they signed Ramsdale, and they couldn't get him. Like Brentford were like, no, and there's some complication. I think this is when Brentford got promoted, and they completely poo-pooed it, right? But they went and got Ramsdale. So do you think they're kind of going to move Ramsdale on Would you bring
Nah,
Ramsdale if it came down to it?
I don't think I wouldn't take Ramsdale, no. But I don't think no way would I take him. I'll keep Lukaku, definitely. I'll suffer. But I feel maybe they're taking him so no one else takes him. You know what I mean? God forbid something happens to Ramsdale. Why wouldn't we take him? You know, Arsenal are throwing cash around. You know what I mean? And unfortunately, they are.
If they don't win the league, sack him.
You know what? I was talking to someone earlier about this. Right? I was talking to someone about this earlier. Right? City haven't strengthened their team yet because they've lost players. Yeah. So on paper, they've got weaker. If you look at it, Mahrez, they're good in the game. So they've lost players. Arsenal's strengthening massively. The money they're throwing at it, you would expect Arsenal to do something. I don't think they will, but there's a whole lot of expectation on them now. A lot of expectation on them. But unfortunately, they bought well, man. You can't, as much as I hate to say it, they bought well, man. They have.
And Luca brings up a good point here, right? He's saying that if you buy Raya for 25, I think it was 25 million has been quoted or 30 odd, right? Doesn't matter. It's still under 50, right? So, like, even if Arsenal pay for Raya, right? Alisson cost what? 70 odd million? That's still less than an Alisson, right? So you're kind of in the market within. It's good pricing, right? But let's move on. Let's move on to what this show's about, transfers, right? We've obviously signed Van der Ven today, but we've done that.
Yeah.
We've done that. We've done the video on that, haven't we, Ash?
Yeah, we've done the video on that. Yeah.
So I didn't even know, because I was on my way home, that we'd signed the striker, right? Mm. So this will be the first time we do a video after the event.
It's mad, because literally I was on someone else's show and it broke. Like, raw, we're in for this, brother. And we were trying to do a quick analysis on him real quick, but here we go, man. Let's bring him up. Alejo Véliz Navidad, Argentinian, 19 years old, plays for Rosario Central. I'm trying to get my Argentinian right, Bob. Right-footed, forward, centre forward, like the old school centre forward. 11 goals in 23 games. Plays central. He's like a proper forward, centre forward. Goal threat here. You see with his feet. Powerful finish. Here's one that he dinks it over. He's been compared to Raul Jimenez of Wolves. That is a great comparison. But you're seeing his goals here. He's at the back post there, finishing all types of goals. All box goals, by the way. All goals in the box. There he fancies his chance outside and he gets to the end of things. So I can kind of see what this guy is saying. Someone's compared him to Crespo, but I wouldn't go that deep, because the heading, that is his weapon. That's where he comes alive. And I think that's the reason why we bought him. Certain times Spurs might want to go direct, and this player gets in between the sticks. And look how powerful. Look at the distance. Like, the power he generates from his header is amazing. Gets on the end of things, knows when to be. The movement that he gets on every time, back post, knows where to be, knows where to flick, can generate headers from distance. Just literally every shot now is just header, test the keeper. And that's something we've been missing for a while, we to have that kind of option to bring off the bench and cause problems. Here he is dribbling as well. He's got a burst of pace, burst of acceleration. It's not his biggest strength, but it's something that he can develop as well. He's not slowest striker, but he's not the fastest. But there you saw a little half turn. He's good at getting away from his marker, can hold players up, able to get that ball. And an important feature of a centre forward player when you want to go along. Link up play again, it shows it a little bit more. Don't like the fact he rolled around so much, but it reminds me a bit of Richarlison. Anyway, yeah, link up play there. Again, holding the ball up, keeping possession for his team. And I don't want to see that again. But again, physical strength, because some people are thinking, can he play in the Prem? I think he can. And he's going to need to get stronger. He's only going to get faster and stronger. Good control of his feet. Defensively as well, can help out. But he wins the ball in the middle third and sometimes the attacking third as well. Here he is shielding the ball, players trying to get off him. Another example of his strength. So players trying to get off him, they can't. There he is, reading the game very well. Pressing as well, that's what you like from Ange Ball. You want your strikers to be pressing very well. Winning the ball back again, attacking third, that's where he is. He's starting that attack again. Look at that slide tackling challenge. Just shows the passion and the bravery of the young kid. Again, here's a bit of possession, showing a little bit more hold-up play. Quite calm with it as well. He doesn't panic, knows what to be, and is able to link that ball. But even though I'm showing loads of clips where he's not in that box. He's coming out and he's linking the play. It kind of reminds me of what Kane does certain times. There's sometimes you can't always play out from the back, and sometimes you're going to need to go a little bit long. And he's able just to shield that ball, protect it. And the Argentinian league, it's not that he's playing for Boca Juniors or River Plate. He's actually playing for a mid-table team. So the fact that he's doing this at this level, I think it's a good sign that, Spurs are dipping into different markets, doing what we said we were going to do. We looked at Brighton's model and we said we're going to pick out unknown gems. And this is a great example coming from the Argentinian league. So, I think it's a good prospect. Whether he starts straight away or if he goes back on a loan, I think that's more likely to happen. I think he might go back and then come back in December. I think that's what they were quoted. I was listening to an Argentinian journalist today, and that was the something about the promissory contract that he's not able to get the working visa on time. So I think that's what's stopping him from maybe starting straight away. So I think he might go back to Argentina. Not to say it's definitely going to happen, but I think it's up in the air at the moment. They're just trying to work on that bit. But yeah, again, a prospect nonetheless. I don't know if he's on that level quite yet of a Man City Alvarez. I don't think he's on that level yet. But nonetheless, for what he's doing at his age, Ange likes these type of players he can work on and he can develop on. And I think this would be one for the future. He actually worked with Mascherano and on the under-21s for Argentina. Didn't have the best tournaments, to be fair. I don't think none of the players did. But he is spoken very highly amongst some of the greats. And Lo Celso said, I'll be waiting for you when you come. So, yeah.
Jamie, what do you make of him? New signing. Obviously, he doesn't look like he's going to be a Kane replacement. And
I say he's a youngster, and what I've read about him, he's a big youngster, 6'3", he's a big target man, He's young, he's coming to the Premiership. He's a kid, you know what I mean? He's coming to the big bad league, But I think he's settling. I read that he might be getting. He's gonna come straight into the squad. Is what I read, and he's apparently we may try and learn into Europe somewhere, so he get some first team football in Europe, and then come back to the Premiership. But either way, I think we like Argentinians, you know what I mean, and they are, they all come from a good cut, you know what I mean? So I'm excited to see him. I don't know enough of him to say he's this or he's that. I don't think any of us do yet, really. But I think he is going to help having the Celso, Romero there, Richarlison, so people can speak the language. You can embed a bit quicker, I'm excited because we needed a striker. Obviously, we've got his Kane. We have Richarlison, of course. Got Dane Scarlett. It does make you worry about Dane Scarlett. You know what I mean? What's going to happen to him? Remember, we had Troy Parrott a couple of years ago. It was supposed to be the biggest thing coming through. You know what I mean? So I can't see him coming into the into the first team yet. I think Richarlison's got a lot to prove. And I think he's going to want to prove a lot. So I'll be happy to see him come in and see him go on loan for a season somewhere in Europe, get a few goals, get a bit more experience, in the European League and come back, But it's a sign in the striker that we needed, someone for the future. So there's nothing but pluses there, And he's not too expensive either, So, yeah.
So I'm going to bring a negative to this conversation.
A negative?
Yeah, I'm going to bring a negative to the conversation. So I was sent a clip of Tim Vickery talking about him over the weekend.
So, yeah.
Basically saying a lot of people in Argentina are surprised that he's got to move to Europe. He's not. He doesn't think in a roundabout way, because he was talking to Danny Kelly, who's a Spurs fan, who was obviously quite interested in him. He said he wasn't really a player that was really made for the Premier League. And a lot of people are very, very surprised by this transfer. Do we read anything into this? Or do we just take it as it was? Tim Vickery is the king of South American football.
I think
Brazilian.
As you say, he's arguably one of the most knowledgeable journalists out there in the South American market.
And to be fair, every time a Brazilian or a thing he comes over, like when he spoke about, I remember when he spoke about Romero, he spoke about not Joe Linton, Gomes when he went to Newcastle, and actually everything he's kind of said has always been quite spot on. So it was quite weird for him to be, because he never really speaks in such a negative way.
Yeah.
But as you said, Ash, there was one thing that he did say that you've mentioned. He's good in the air, right? And I thought, okay, but if he's good in the air, he must be able to play in the Premier League. But they said he's not very strong. He's quite weak. As you said, he falls over a lot. So, what are we expecting from this?
I think definitely he's a talent that needs to be nurtured. Like I said before, he's not going to come into he's not an Alvarez. Do you know what I mean? As I said that off the bat, he's going to need a lot of developing and work. But this is this type of player that Ange likes. He likes players that not necessarily the finished article yet, and players he can develop. And maybe he's looked at.
I really hope it's an Ange signing because we can't have another Jed Spence who no manager likes.
Yeah, I do hope it's that. But I mean, in terms of, we did say, like I said at the start, we're looking to do more of the Brighton model. And so we can't be mad if we're bringing in players that are unknown quantities that maybe certain journalists might have written off. But if we've done our due diligence, we've done our scouting, and we've looked at the player's profile, and we think, yeah, let's get him now before he gets any hotter. Let's bring him in, and then let's put him on loan maybe, and let's see how it develops. Do you know what I mean? I think at that price point as well, it was 13 to 12 million, I believe. So I think they thought, this is the time to strike. We need a striker. I don't know what that means for Dane Scarlett or the academy boys around there, if that pushes them further back. Because I was surprised that we're getting such a young striker as well myself. Dane Scarlett was there. But they were clearly...
But like you said, he's good in the air. Dane Scarlett, not very good in the air. So actually, do they not just counteract? Like Richarlison and Kane are not similar, are they? Like they're probably both good in the air, but Richarlison, if we're putting it, he's probably slightly better. But Kane's more likely to be in a position where he does hit the ball and puts it in the net. So it's just about what their strengths and weaknesses are. So actually, Dane Scarlett, after seeing him at the weekend, like this is going to be his year to convince Ange. And of all managers, isn't it, Jamie? Jamie, I'll let you take this, Jamie. Is this not going to be the year that Dane Scarlett, if he can convince anybody, it's going to be Big Ange?
I agree. I mean, I'd like to see him stay here for the season, and try to get some minutes, cup games and whatnot. But you say he's, unfortunately, in this day and age, last year he didn't have the best loan, he didn't score literally a handful of goals. You'd like to think going down to a lower league, he'll be banging in more goals, coming back a bit more on fire than he did, But I think with Dane Scarlett, it's to say the only thing with Véliz coming in, he's young. He's young, he's a kid, you know what I mean? So he's been in the Argentinian league, which isn't the best league. So, but he's young, you know what I mean? It'd even be a fantastic sign, or they say it'd be a Jed Spencer, you know what I mean? He's they're his options. But Dane Scarlett, I quite like him because he's nippy, he's fast, he's quick. He's quite Defoe-esque. You know what I mean in that element. But I quite like him. What I've seen in play. I like seeing Dane Scarlett get a couple of minutes. This season, but truthfully, I can't see him getting too many. I think, as I said, Richarlison's going to be. I think he'll be a surprise for some people as well. I think he's got so much to prove. I think he's happy Conte's gone.
I think most people are.
Yeah. But I think he's happy he's gone. And, I think Ange has given everyone not everyone, but he's giving people, the benefit of the doubt and show me what you got. You know what I mean? I.e. the Celso. You know what I mean? Because even that flipped me. I was taking on the belly over the Celso, and now I've quickly changed. I'm still 50-50 on the Celso. I think Fran's gone now. I think
Marcus McNamara asks the question here: when do you see Deadwood getting moved on? Funds could be up to secure a centre back, say taps over. I'm gonna, speaking of Deadwood and selling, let's talk about Harry quickly. Jamie, obviously everyone knows mine and Ashmatic's opinion about the whole Harry Kane situation.
I've changed.
Where do you sit on this situation?
I've changed. A couple of weeks ago, I was like, unfortunately, it's time for him to go. It's time for us to get some money and to rebuild without him. I've definitely changed now. For the money we're getting, he's too good. He's too good to get rid of.
But are we not always going to be in this situation? Just honestly, you're saying he's too good, but are we then not going to be in this situation next year? and we lose him for nothing.
It depends if we do lose him. Let's just say that we do. Let's just say that we don't sell him for 9,500 million, right? That'd be right.
Yep.
Let's don't sell him, right? And we do hit Champions League. There's a big ifs and buts. Then we hit Champions League. That money we can generate from that will counterbalance selling him. That makes sense, yeah.
Yeah.
Champions League, the rights, merchandise.
Are you willing to take that massive risk? So let's put it this way, yeah, right?
I would. Who can we replace him now? It's impossible to replace him.
But it's the money, isn't it? Because look, Spurs are always trying to act like a broke club. We ain't got no money, right? So if it's about getting Tapsoba over the line or getting Laporte over the line, getting another midfielder, another attacker over the line, if it means, because obviously we know that Kane money is not going to be built in one position. It's going to have to be spread. But if it meant that we could actually shore up the defense where we're not conceding goals, would the way Big Ange plays football, will we not score?
Yeah,
anyway?
but then you got to think as well is you're a selling club now, and Tottenham's got 100 million. That price point's going very. That price point's going very high now. You know,
to be honest, though, is that not as soon as Tottenham go in anyway? Because everyone sees the revenue that we make.
Yeah.
We sit there and go, we're like, we've got the third best revenue or something like that.
Yeah,
we've got this money, that money, look at the stadium.
I mean, Van de Ven was double. He was supposed to be 25, it cost 50.
So, but as soon as Spurs come in, these clubs are going to go, well, I know you've got money.
Personally,
with me.
I'd keep Kane. I'll take the risk. I'll keep him for a season. If he's getting 30 goals for a mid-table team having no shots on goal, he's going to do absolute wonders next year if he stays for us. He's going to be up there. He's banging in 35 goals a season. If all goes to plan, and then we do manage to get top four, and things fall into place, we will generate that £100 million back if we were to lose 1 or 3 anyway. So it is a risk, but.
So a quick question on that: would you buy his? So even though if he stays, you said you wanted to stay, that's fine.
Yeah.
And I completely get your point. Would you buy his replacement now, or would you wait a year?
I'd wait, because you buy a replacement, they ain't gonna start. So you already, and also you think that with Richarlison as well. Does he think he's the replacement? It can cause a bit of animosity in that squad. I'd keep Kane for a season. I mean, 3 strikers is enough for a Premiership. Kane, Richarlison, Scala or Véliz. So that's enough. We ain't no cup. We ain't no European competition. So we have a big enough squad to play Premiership and domestic cups, I think. So,
and who would you put as captain? By the way,
what now?
Yeah,
Kane. I'll give him captain on bad. Harry Kane.
Well, for a year.
Yeah. Well, who knows? He might sign a contract. You never know.
Oh, do you know what? Right. If Daniel Levy leaves, I think he'll sign the contract. I personally think he'll sign if Daniel Levy left. And the reason why, right, I'm always going to say this, the Manchester City transfer burnt him. He'll never forgive Levy for that. Because not did it just burn him, how many of us started on his family or his brother?
Yeah.
He will never, ever, because, let's be honest, the players will always see in the public eye what's going on. They know what's going on social media. We all went after his brother, right? And he's a big family man. He wouldn't like that. He will never forgive Daniel Levy for that situation.
But do you think Levy's going to go anywhere? Levy ain't going to go nowhere.
No, Levy ain't going to. This is why I think Kane, unless it would have to be a massive, we have to make Champions League football, right? And we have to show him, because for the last, how many years has Kane been saying to us, show me you got the ambition?
Yeah. He seems to be liking, apparently, but again, he started liking Conte when he first came in. Apparently, like Ange when he first come in. It is, but the biggest risk in this though is if he doesn't sign a new contract and he stays, he might stay in the Premiership.
Yeah.
And Chelsea around the corner, and that's one team. You know what I mean? I don't think he will. I think he's loyal enough to do that, but who knows? Who knows?
Well, this is the question, because I think this is why Spurs are playing Bayern Munich off a little bit, because they're saying, look, we know he's not going to go Arsenal, Chelsea at the end of the season. So they're at the question. I did hear someone say, could you imagine if we went to Newcastle and broke the record at Newcastle, broke Alan Shearer's record there? But Newcastle would have to hopefully be in the Champions League again next year, and then they're able to buy more people. So there's that scenario. Manchester United have just bought a young striker, so is that now off the table? No. And Haaland and Alvarez are at Man City. So you're looking Europe really, and it's only really Barcelona might think of replacing Lewandowski. You don't know. And Real Madrid might think actually Mbappe and Vinicius Jr. and Kane. That might be the three they might go for. So
I don't think United's off the radar. You know, I think he'll walk in the team in 2 years' time still, no matter what this youngster does. You know what I mean? He's England captain. He's arguably the best English striker of all time. Well, look statistically, you know what I mean? He's still got another good, solid 5 seasons in him yet. To be honest, what I think, and it sounds a bit, he's too big for Bayern Munich. You know what I mean? Not too big for them, but he'll be the biggest star in Germany. He goes there. You know what I mean?
I agree. I think
he wants to stay in the best Premier. I think he wants to stay in the Premiership ideally, but I think United. I think if he doesn't sign a contract with us, I think United will be up there or Barcelona, because obviously Lewandowski's old now. He's pushing on now. You know what I mean? He's not going to go around Madrid. You know, I don't think. You know, I don't think he's going to fit that puzzle. Unfortunately, not that he couldn't, but I just feel that he's. I'm
so
walking.
So Jamie thinks don't sell him, but we've obviously got another alternative for him that we have actually been linked with this time, and I'll bring him up.
Yes,
this video will play.
Mehdi, 31 Iranian international, plays for Porto, plays 33 games, 22 goals, 7 assists, plays in the 4-4-2 formation. We can see his heat map where he plays a lot. Look at his actual statistics. Crazy. Goal threat. Here he is, scoring different types of goals again. We'll see him as a box striker again. Just scoring all types of goals, all types of finishes here. Getting on the end of things, able to link play and get on the end of things. A crazy bicycle kick there. Finishes all over the pitch. And again, he's just that man. He just knows where to be. He knows when to arrive into that space. Audacious shot there outside the box. Should have finished that one there. But I think about over 3 to 4 seasons, he's been putting up numbers consistently. 21, 22 goals. I think goal contribution wise, he's been getting like a minimum 27 goal contributions. Here's his dribbling as well. He's quite known around Europe. He's quite well reversed around Europe. Link-up play is able to find players, as I've already talked about how many times he assists. So his link-up play is really good to bring other teammates in. He's able to find players, able to use his dribble and his outs and his movement to outsmart players, outsmart defenders. I think he'll work in the Ange Postecoglou system to a T, because not only can he be the focal point, but he can be the link player. He can be the fox in the box. He can just be a willing runner to take players away. And he's got a good weight of pass, as you can see here. Look at his passing, little cheeky flick there to play someone else in. Little flick-ons, flick-downs, headers. Lovely weight of pass to find a player there. Again, another good weight of pass. And you could just always tell a player by the weight of pass. You could just see it. Defensively, he's able to win the ball high up, and that's imperative for an end system. You always need your players to kind of win that ball in important positions, and he does that quite a bit. He's able to, I think that's a big part of his game, which goes unnoticed. He really does put a shift in, and I think it's his bravery where he gets a lot of those challenges in. He's got the right mentality. He's got the work ethic, the hard working ethic to him, and I think that's the reason why you'll see him even defending quite low in the low block there, defending in the 4-4-2, as well as in the high block or mid block, winning balls back. But yeah, he's well known in. I think he got 5 goals in Champions League, if I'm not wrong, and he got 2 assists. So I think this season, in all competitions, he got 31 goals and 14 assists. People will look at his age and think he's 31. Yeah, look, we're getting an old striker, but I think it's a balance between the two. You've got a young striker in, then you've got an old striker in. He's only just turned 31, by the way, in June. So it's not
only.
Say that about Son, you know. So it's so down to perception.
That Daniel Levy don't sign all players unless he's being asked by his manager. Ain't happening, mate.
I don't know. Like, I feel like, again, this could be an Ange request. If Levy's really bad,
unless he's a free transfer, ain't happening.
Like the transfer quote is they basically want 30 million, and we want to pay 24 million. So I don't know if we meet somewhere halfway in between, 27 million, it could be done. It's possible,
mate. I tell you now, if that happens, it means Daniel Levy don't know about it.
I agree. No chance.
There is no way, actually, there's no way in hell that we are buying an over 30-year-old for anything more than 10 million. Like, Perisic was a free transfer. If we had to pay for him, there was no way he was coming.
Yeah. I mean,
he'll give contracts to like. Don't get me wrong, he'll give contracts to over 30-year-olds, but he's never gonna give.
Yeah.
He's never gonna buy one, not for that sort of money.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we've been linked. We've been linked for a reason. So
yeah, it'd be interesting. No, it'd be very interesting. But do you know what? Actually, this will be the really good thing. If we signed him, it will let me know that Daniel Levy is not involved in football matters, and that will be the sign, and that will go, yeah.
I can't see. He's a decent player. You know, he's been decent for years. He's always banged in goals. But again, he's in the Portuguese league. But he's big and strong. I think he could do a job. But I do agree, Marlon. There's no chance we're going to spend money on him. I think. You know, he's 31 years old. Where's he going to play first and foremost? You know.
It's the question.
I think he couldn't get in the team. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's not even about his quality, because the quality is it's just 31 already, yeah. And he's going to be 32 by the end of the season.
He's 32.
Like,
really? Left, you know? Yeah, he's coming.
Like, he's older than Kane.
The model.
No, but look, but you pointed out earlier, we've just bought one for the future, right? Yes, we do have Richarlison. We've got obviously Dane Scarlett, but I just can't see like 20, even for 23 million. I personally can't see it. I'd love to be wrong. If Ange wanted him and Ange went and they went and bought him for him, I would sit there and go, you know what? I'm willing to give this club a chance now, because that proves, like I said, it proves that he's not involved.
Yeah, but unfortunately, he is involved, isn't he? That's the problem. Unfortunately, he's involved. He's not going to know it. Look how we're haggling over Ray off for a couple of million. You know what I mean? Well, someone who would have came in and been a starter for us, who would have been
and now it's all coming out. He only wanted the Arsenal move. He didn't want nothing else.
We could have got him. Of course, we could have got him. Definitely could have got him. You know, it's just Levy being Levy. Levy. It sounds a bit controversial. I'm not Levy's biggest enemy, you know. I don't mind Levy too much. He's done wonders, you know.
Jamie, no, you can't say this. You're gonna get in trouble. No, carry on.
Say what you want, man.
Carry on. I'm joking.
He's made a lot of mistakes, but he's also, do you know what I mean? He's turned us into a financially very stable club, you know, that has a lot of recognition, that can be in the conversation to draw big players in now, you know, offer big contracts. Years ago, we couldn't do that. But yes, he's made some absolute calamity mistakes in the past. You know, we've lost out a lot of players. But you know what I mean? I think now, in my view, I think he's easing up a little bit. You know, I think he's easing up a little bit. You know, I'm not. You know, I think we're quick to blame him. You know, I think we're quick to blame. You know,
you know what? Look, I do get your point, and I will always sit there and go, I can see where he's taken the club to.
Yeah.
But it's not like us fans have not paid the price for it.
Yeah.
Right? And there's a lot of things on a personal aspect that I think he's done wrong, that I don't care where the club's come from or been, because it's kind of one of them situations. If the club was still finishing 8th every season, I'm still going to support them, ain't I?
Yeah, of course. We all are, yeah.
Right. Yeah. But it's a case of it depends on how people look at it, and I get the financial thing, but I think what happened was he saw Spurs and let their property business, right?
Oh, it's the business, absolutely.
Yeah, they exploited the situation, and that's all they've done, right? The Sky money, with everything else that happened, and because at the beginning when we got Arneson, he always wanted Europe. That's all he wanted, because he wanted that European money.
Yeah,
right. But what's happened is, in that situation, if you take the 20 years before, you didn't have 8 teams getting into Europe. You had 4 or 5. So he's managed to get himself in a situation where he's exploited the likes of the big teams doing so well in Europe that it's caused us to have more places, which then has caused us to then feature in. He got lucky with Pochettino.
But did he get lucky with Conte and Mourinho? You know what I mean? They're arguably in the biggest names managers in the world. He must have some sort of pull to get these kind of managers.
Oh yeah, no, look.
You know,
Levy could sell
he's
Eskimo.
selling a good project. You know, I don't think he's a man of his word. You know,
but
unfortunate.
But you have to look at it though. Jose, let's be honest, weren't getting big clubs. We were probably the second-rate club that Jose was going to get, and he wasn't at clubs, so it was a bit more easy to convince him, right? With the Conte situation, you have to look at it and go. Conte was expecting, I think, the Barcelona and Real Madrid job had come up that summer. He'd just fallen out with Inter. They both passed on him. Yeah. He then was sitting there for 3 or 4 months twiddling his thumbs, and no one was. He was probably getting no calls. And then Spurs come in, and he was like, you know what? I'll do it for 8. I'll sign an 18-month contract, but I'll leave at the end of the season.
But I think that's Conte, though, isn't he?
Guess what happened? He got into the Champions League, and he went, "Oh crap!"
Yeah,
he couldn't quit because he convinced Kane to stay. It had all gone well. It'd gone better than everyone had realised. And then last season happened.
We have such high expectations at the start of last year. Remember, such high expectations. High expectations.
But I'll give. He might get a get out of jail free card. Right. Actually, we'll talk about it later. We'll talk about why I'm going to say he might get a get out of jail free card for the first time ever. And I want to talk about Ange and the football after we talk about. We've got one more defender to look at, right? And it's quite because this is one of your recommendations, Ash, right? Or have we been linked with him?
No, we've actually been linked with him. I think the scouting, whoever's doing the scouting, I forget his name, Leonardo Benucci, I think his name is. He's doing a good job. Pershers of Torino, a Dutch international, 23 years old, right-footed. And we always talk about partnerships. I think this guy could work well with a Van der Ven. 25 mil is the quote from Transfer Markets. Got 3 years left on his contract. 7.7 million he came from Ajax, free for free. So he knows total football. There's some of his statistics. There's some of his pass completion, successful tackle-ons, interceptions and tackles. We're going to talk about here. Something that who doesn't do. So I think that's a plus straight away. He's able to read the game, really good to read the game. So he knows when to kind of step out of the defense or step out the line and kind of win those balls. Kind of creates that blocks of passing lanes by sticking out his leg and being in the right position, winning the ball, not afraid to make a challenge, not afraid to get physical. Makes a lot of those tackles and interceptions, not just in the defensive thirds, but in the mid third as well, and also the attacking third. But these clips mainly show him intercepting the ball and then starting the attack. Blocks, he is a block merchant. That is his speciality. That's what he's known for, blocks. So again, it's just showing his ability to read the game, knowing where to be. Does a good job there, holding off that player, and he just gets his body in the way. Again, body in the line, just able to just physically be there, and that's what you want from your defender. You want your defender to give 100% and just protect your goalkeeper. He's making this keeper have a better job, literally. You know how much clips I had to delete of him blocking? It's that bad. That's how mad he is for blocks. I'm not even exaggerating. Recovery is good as well. He's got good recovery speed, so he's no slow coach. He's able to get back on side and protect. Here he's against Ashmatic. See you later. Fiorentina quite attacking. He's able to recover the ball there. Then another interception tackle. And the pace is there. The pace is there. 1v1. He's not bad. 1v1. Goes to ground there, but is able to win the ball. Does enough to throw the player off. There he is against Kvaratskhelia, stopping him. He's one of the best wingers in world football at the moment. Again, another good challenge. Heading. He's able to use his head, something that we need as well. If we're going to play a high line, we need someone to be able to win those headers. And here he is just diving across, helping the keeper again, getting across, knowing where to be again, just protecting that 6-yard penalty box, able to win those headers, knows where the player is as well. Passing, that's an important feature for modern day footballer, able to play out from the back, cross the ball, switch the plays, competent in possession, able to get his head up, find that ball, a good deep pass there, able to start attacks, switch the play, long balls over the top. If need be, we can go direct with him. In possession, he's able to bring the ball out from the back as well. So again, that's another thing that Ange likes. He likes his defenders to be quite attacking. Here he is assisting goals there, 2 assists there, He was starting to attack. He's able to get away from his player. And here he is scoring a goal. A dope goal there. Possession there. You can see his passing, his assists, his key passes, his ball recoveries, his aerial duels. He looks like a player that could definitely push Romero in that position as a right back. If he's a backup, he pushes Eric Dyer further back. And that's, for me, ultimately the goal. To get Eric Dyer as far back into reserves as possible. He's in the Italian league. Like I said before, he played for Ajax, so he's another Dutch international.
Quick question: was he to replace Bremer at Torino? I take it, because considering he's been there. Yeah. All right.
Yes. But yeah. What can I say? He's at the right age.
Look, Marcus was already on it. Look, he knew what was coming with.
Great minds. So yeah. What more can I say, man? There's another defender I think who's better than him. But we have to wait till next week to talk about him. So it's all good, it's all love. But yeah, I think he's dope. Yeah, Taremi. I do like Taremi.
What's the price point for him though?
25 mil. Transfer market says 25 mil.
So, Jamie, I got a question for you on the back of that, and you can go ahead and speak. Because we've just signed Van der Ven, would it be great if we signed another Dutch centre back who've probably played together, probably at youth level, and get them in the same mold as Toby and Jan did?
You'd like to think so, yes. But they're both big, aren't they? They're both big.
Yeah.
They're both 6'3", 6'4" centre backs. You know what I mean? But I heard Van der Ven's got the pace. I mean, sure, I've obviously seen the highlights of him, so they seem they could complement each other. One with the pace, one with the physical strength.
Joke.
Yeah. So, I mean, to be honest, I mean, I'm up for bringing him in. 25 mil in this day and age, it's not crazy money. I think it's worth not a gamble. I think it's worth the risk. He plays in Italy. They are known for their strict centre backs. Obviously Romero come from there as well. So I'm all for it. You know what I mean? But anything to kind of push our backup even further down or out the door. Because God forbid one of them get an injury. Then we are back to square one. But yeah, sure, I'm all for him. And having a Dutch, pairing is. It's worth it, I think. That's if we can get him there, It's the biggest.
Oh, Jazz Jones puts here, he sees a slight flaw in the plan of getting Schurz, and VDV would be promised first team football. Ash, I think you were going to try and answer this, but would VDV not try and be pushed out to the left back position and the Doji probably move further forward? Could that happen?
Schurz plays a right back. He plays right back. He doesn't play
right back.
Yeah, he plays right back. He doesn't play left back. He plays in the back three. He's either
No, VDV. No. I was saying that VDV could move out to left back and Schurz could come into the middle.
Oh, what? Play left back?
No. So,
centre back, left centre back. Sorry, not left back. Left centre back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he's a right centre back. He's a right centre back. Let's not get it. That's always meant to play. And I get Romero. People don't want to see Romero drop out, but the way I see it, the floor is airily. Teams are going to look at us, and we saw it tonight. Their first instinct is to go over the top. We need a defender that is good airily. We need it. Let's not shy away from it. Let's get a centre back that can be competent, confident, and brave enough. That kid showed all of those qualities in that box. You need a defender that's going to either A, delay to help other teammates help back and help you defend as a team, or B, be front-footed and be assertive and win those balls and tackle. Or even C, you need a player that can smell the danger and knows where to be positionally. They know where to be at the right place at the right time, and they've got the recovery pace to do those last-ditch tackles, because when you're playing a high line, that's what you need to win the ball back. As a centre-back, you need to have that. And at that clip I was showing, those... And listen, that video clip I put together, you won't find it on YouTube in that order. This is an exclusive. So if we do get him up, if we're managed to get him Marlon, that's a great clip, because it shows all of his attributes all together. I honestly think aerially and recovery, those are the two things that are missing from Spurs' defense at the moment, and he's got them in abundance. So I think he could help, because these couple years, he's hold on, Van der Ven's how old? 22. Sorry, he's only 1 year apart. So it's only 1 year. Van der Ven's 22, right?
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah,
only 1 year. It's
sure,
only 1 year. But
23.
they're going to have a lot
Yeah.
in common. They're going to probably socially
build it now, innit? It's probably the
that's
right
it.
example. Build that partnership now.
Like, and then Ange's got his time to have his two front-footed, like, not front-footed, but like defenders are competent to kind of build from that first phase. Certain times you need your centre back not to be hurried in that possession, not to panic, and to be able to because sometimes what happens is what I saw today was sometimes if it went into the fullback or if one of our midfielders pulled wide, what would happen is the press would target that, and that's when we lose possession. So certain times I want my defender not to be so deep. I want him to be competent enough to bring it out from the back. Do you see what I'm trying to say? As opposed to passing it into Basuma all the time. And then Basuma's got no space. I know Basuma's good at doing it. He's good at wriggling it out, doing a half turn and then play. But certain teams, they're going to figure it out. They're going to gang up on him. And I prefer one of my defenders to be able to bring it out. Like, not always just sitting deep. Like, do you know what I'm saying? And that's what Dyer does. That's why he puts us in certain scenarios where we could lose the ball because he's sitting so deep. I want my defenders to bring it out from the back, bring up the midfield and just push and then squeeze the pitch like that. Do you know what I'm saying? If you're not squeezing the pitch, then it makes it easier for teams to camp on you. Do you know what I'm saying? And we can't play out through the back. That's just my opinion, respectfully. Sorry, carry on, Jamie. I know you're bursting.
No, I'm just saying, I think that from my understanding, that we've not had a centre-back pairing since Jan and Toby, you know what I mean? Where we knew our best centre-backs. We knew who they were. You know what I mean? We knew. When's the last time we had that? The fact we were talking for 10 minutes earlier about who's going to start, no one knows what our best centre-back pairing is. We always knew back in our heyday when we did have the best centre-back pairing and the best defence of the Premiership, we knew Jan and Toby straight away. There was no debate, there was no argument. And we've never had that since. You know what I mean? So Romero, I mean, he is the best of what we have.
For now.
Definitely. He's got a mistake in him. He's got aggression in him. You know what I mean? I think he gets a lot of praise, sometimes bit too much praise, I think, you know. But he's the best of what we've got. So if we could, I know, you know, they're young, 2023, so they could have a long future together if we were to get someone in, you know.
For me, just to add on, Jamie, like, he's only going to make Romero better. He will push.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to say, the more quality centre backs you got in that position, the more, you know, you've got, like, everyone's got to raise their game. Everyone's got to be hungry if you want to get in this team. And the way I saw Ange at Celtic, he didn't always play the same centre back pairings. I know, like, on the centre back pairings to kind of get familiar. But at certain times he did swap it over. I know they had Europe. Maybe that's why he switched it.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, I'm just throwing it out there. And then also we're shopping in Serie A. It seems to be a market that we know and we like. We have. They know it very well, and it just seems to be like a little bit cheaper than the rest of the other places where we're looking at. I just feel like there's a deal to be had in this area. I think the reason why we looked at him was because we were looking at a right back in Signo. I don't know if you guys know Signo. Basically, he's a right wing back, and we were looking at him for a long time. And basically, we never ended up going for him. But I think when we were scouting him, we obviously looked at this guy that replaced Bremer, and it seemed like a natural progression to say, look, let's go back in for this guy, because this guy, he's ticking quite a lot of boxes.
Yeah, but I think we definitely need to bring one more in. I think that's an obvious statement. That, you know, we definitely need another centre back in the team. Definitely, you know. I mean, if Van der Ven comes in, what's the competition for those two, really? You know what I mean? What's the competition?
You're right. No, I can't agree with you more. And I think to add, because it was Jazz Jones that asked the question about competing and stuff. I think that's the thing, isn't it? You've got to have competition. You've got two young players, and if he thinks he's good enough, he'll get into the first team. He'll take Romero out. And Ash, actually, you made a good point. And I'm just looking at the West Ham and Barcelona game as an example, right? If Ange likes to change his defence around because of the way he plays, he probably does need that other centre back, because what's going to happen is we conceded late against West Ham and we conceded late today, right? Is it because of those defenders are now playing a totally different game? They're literally going forward, coming back, and they're just not fit enough is probably the wrong word, but they need to be more sharp, and the recovery behind it means that actually, as everyone's pointed out, Ange likes to make subs in the 60th minute. maybe the defender will be one of them. And
Yeah.
that's how they're going to get through the rotation. That they will always get minutes.
Yeah. And I think also as well, a lot of the times that we're getting caught out for the reason that our defenders, or not our defenders, Dyer can't play in the back four. It's as simple as that. That's the reason why the back three was created for him. Simple. So us buying defenders in front of him. And remember, he was playing the right side of centre back. This pushes him further back, so then he's not an option. And we've got players that are more suited to the style that can kind of, like I was saying with the ball, they're more competent, they're more confident with the ball, higher up in the pitch, and can get that recovery pace. They're not giving up the last seconds. I'm like, bro, why is he slowing down for? He meant to be speeding up now. You know what I'm trying to say? Man, he's going backwards. You know, like the ones that he's running a treble backwards.
Yeah,
that's what he looks like.
You really didn't like Dyer today, innit? I have to say, it's really surprising because usually I'm the one that goes at Dyer and you're usually quite calm about it. But today, I personally didn't think he was that bad. But it's quite weird. But listening to what you're saying, I can't argue with what you're saying. But I don't know if that was because Sanchez was completely bombing forward, why he done what he does in the back three. He just sat there and went, I'm going to have to wait. Because if he goes forward, he ain't coming back, is he?
No chance. Yeah, no chance. He can just about get forward. But I think the confidence is low. I think the Tanganga, Davis, Dyer, I think the confidence is so low. I think any mistake they made, the fans are going to jump straight down their neck, straight away.
It's a great example because obviously Sanchez. I still think Sanchez made the mistake for the first goal, and he made the mistake against West Ham. But he actually, like you said, he and like you've heard, he played really well after that. Right, and I think that's the thing with Sanchez. Out of the two, he's the better defender.
Yeah,
Dyer is probably more. What's the word?
But Dyer's got a bit. For me, Dyer got a lot of leeway because he was English. He was in the English team. He got a little bit of leeway here and there. But listen, Dyer's not mobile enough to play for Tottenham anymore, unfortunately. You know what I mean? The way the football's evolved, man, the young, athletic, mobile, moving around, he can't do it. He can pass left to right. He was like Winks, you know what I mean? He's just left and right. They ain't mobile enough. That's why Basuma's a gem to come and he can move. You know what I mean? He's young, he's agile. You know, that Dyer-esque of a player. If the ball goes over him, we're banging trouble. You know, Van der Ven, he was the fastest centre back in Germany.
There's a reason why Dyer under Pochettino played DM. There's a valid reason.
He can't move. You know what I mean? You know, and that was 5 years ago. He was younger. You know what I mean? He's not got any fit or any mobile now. You know, unfortunately, if anyone, I think, he has to give him his P45, shake his hand and say thank you. You know what I mean? I think his time is, not that I'm saying Sanchez is much better, but it's just.
Sanchez got a goal as well. Like when as well as he played, don't ever get it twisted, Sanchez.
Yeah, but the fact
man's not back in Sanchez, but I'm just saying, Dyer, I just don't understand how he escaped that same heat, that same energy that Sanchez got.
Yeah. But
in the stadium, it's in the stadium because online, it's complete. They both get it.
When did Davis come in the last couple of years? One of our go-to choice centre backs. When did that happen? When did this happen? This 5 out of 10 player all of a sudden in the mix of our centre backs.
Because it shows you. I agree because it shows you how bad Dyer and Sanchez were at times. That Davis, because Davis is Mr. Steady. He won't have an above 5 game. And he won't have a below 5.
Unfortunately, that's what I'm saying. He's you know what I mean. The fact that Davis is in the conversation to be our centre back is insane.
So Jamie, I want to ask you one last question before we we're all going to have our opinion on this because the season obviously starts this weekend, right? Yeah. We're halfway. Well, we're 2/3 away from the transfer window. Up until today, how do you rate our transfer window?
I think Maddison, arguably, I'm saying, the sign of the season for the price point.
Yep.
Arguably, 40 million international.
I bet Harvey Barnes has a better season than Newcastle, knowing us.
Arguably, look, if Leicester was still in the Premiership, one, could we have got him? Secondly, how much would it cost? 75, 80. So he has the English price point on him as well. So obviously he's inflated. Obviously he is. But I think he's going to do. I think that if you look at the top four, Kane, Son, Maddison, Kulusevski, it's dangerous, man. It's very, very dangerous. You know, Kulusevski could be a bit, if we find it from 2 years ago, we're very, very, we're good. Overall, it's been, we needed a centre back, so we ticked the box, we've done it. We needed someone to create. We've done it. We ticked the box. We needed a keeper. All right, we can say we ticked the box. Is he the keeper we wanted? I think the jury's out yet. It's too early.
Yeah.
Ideally, there are bigger names out there who are proven Premiership. You know what I mean? Overall, out of 10, I think it's a 6 out of 10. You know, I think there's still room to improve. You know, I think we need another centre back ideally. You know, but look at the time frame now. What season starts for us on Sunday? It's what, Tuesday today. So, you know what I mean. But we do things last minute. You know what I mean. But what, are you guys happy with transfer window so far?
Oh, no, you didn't give it out of 10. What's it out of 10? And obviously James Maddison's been your favourite signing so far.
Yeah, I say 6 out of 10.
6 out of 10. Ash, your turn.
Yeah, I agree, 6 out of 10. But here's why, for me, the fullback situation is still a problem. The fullbacks is what's basically leaving us exposed every time, in my opinion. I feel like they're our biggest threat going forwards, but then they're also our biggest weakness in behind. So certain times, even though our fullbacks are central and they bomb forward and teams don't expect it, it's the same reason why you'll see our CDM, whoever the CDM is, exposed. They're by themselves, they're lonely because one of them's pushed up or two of them are pushed up. And then in that transition, we might lose the ball, we might break down for whatever. And then there's not only is there space centrally, but there's space out wide, there's space in behind. So I think fullback wise, I think defensively as well, like CD, like both positions, because if Van der Ven's come in, who's the backup for Van der Ven? Like, do you know what I'm saying? As soon as Van der Ven goes missing or something happens to Van der Ven, who can we bring on left-sided centre back? It's a problem. It's a mare. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Right-sided centre back, same thing. As soon as Romero gets injured or he gets suspended or he goes mad and gets a red card or goes reckless, we're back to square one. It's a problem. Do you know what I mean? Have we really improved? Do you know what I'm saying? Attacking-wise, it's up in the air because obviously the Kane situation, we might get bumped if he moves. You know what I'm saying? Because these Germans, they don't look like they're easing off anytime soon, in my opinion. Everyone's like, nah, he's got 4 goals, guys. Come on, he's not going nowhere. What do you mean? He's one of our own. Like literally, but I'm not calling it out until it's done. Until that window is shut, slam, wham, bam. I don't care. He's come out and said, rare. Like, I just want it sorted by rare, tear. Daniel Levy, at the end of the day, he's the chairman. Yeah? He's the chairman. And that contract belongs to him, not to Kane. Kane doesn't own the contract. Yeah. Let's get it right. Don't get it twisted, yeah? Because I saw what happened to Rice. Rice won the trophy. I was like, by the way, thanks for the memories. I'm gone. So this whole talk that, if man gets a trophy this season, well, I'm still not fooled. Like, the reason why I think like this as well, because I'm trying to protect myself and my feelings. So this is why I've got this chaotic thinking.
Mate, for me, I lost him when he wanted to go Man City. So I've been done with him. Not done with him. That's the wrong word. I love Kane.
Listen.
But I lost Kane when that 6 months under Nuno. Lost Kane. I lost him. He wasn't here.
You couldn't blame him. You can't blame him.
No, you can't blame him. You can't. I get it.
But he's still here.
He's done his time. He's done. Bruv, he's a veteran. That's the way I see it. He's done.
But I have moved on.
He still scores 30 goals a season from mid-table team.
Like, listen. I like the way I see it is, if we lose him, we're in a weakened state. We're in big trouble if we lose him. If we lose him,
you know what? No, I'm gonna answer the question in a minute because I'm gonna say one thing.
But we can't lie. We are weakened. Even though I'm not saying we're gonna lose the amount of goals or whatever. That fear factor that Kane's in the building, like, you get me? Like, our opposition look at us, think, Spurs are here, Kane, tear. I think Ange is going to change the way we play. By the way, I think like this is before I go. I think Ange is going to be a dark horse. I call it now. Lots of people ain't going to see him coming, and I love it. I love an underdog. I love that the way he thinks, that he's not too hyped and he's not too pessy. He's somewhere in the middle, and I like the fact that we won 5-1, but he was like, "Bro, why wasn't man pressing towards the end of the half? Why did you let
that interview afterwards was funny."
I said, I could kind of work with this because certain times before you be defending 1-0s. So,
I wanted to say to the guy in the interview, and I wanted to say to Big Ange afterwards, right? The only reason why he asked you that question and why he's thinking, "Oh, this was good." He just watched Conte and Mourinho football for the last 2-3 years. Why do you think he's happy?
I agree with that. I think with for Ange, he has. There's no expectation on him. Zero. With Mourinho and Conte, there was serious expectation. These managers come in, they're proven winners, they this, they that, and just come in. He's just under the radar. He says it how it is. He's done his thing. I think, you know what? I agree wholeheartedly. He's gonna be the guy for us. I'm confident in saying that. I really am. That's why.
Going back to Kane as well. Sorry, guys. Sorry to cut you. Going back to Kane, yeah. I just think
Jamie's our guest.
No. I was good today. I thought I was good. I don't think I interrupted him that much.
No,
but I just you got me still. You got me. You drew me out. But I just think yeah. With Kane, I think if Kane goes right, or if Kane stays, I still think by the end of the season, I can't see him signing a contract. Me personally, this is just me, my actual personal opinion. Some people think that he can be convinced that if we get top 4, for me, he's done the top 4 thing already.
Jay in our group.
No, he's gone. He's definitely gone next year.
I'll be shocked if he comes and says, "You know what? The only way I could see it happening, and it could happen." Oh, I don't know where I can't.
He's not going to buy it. He ain't going to buy it.
No. I'm just saying. Listen, if somehow there was a mad title push, like no one saw it coming, I can't see that happening. Me personally,
no way.
That's why I don't think he's going to sign. But that's the only way I think Kane would. Like, he has to have that belief, and Ange often talks about that belief. And I feel like if some craziness, some crazy thing, like we somehow managed to that. Like no one saw it coming, and Tottenham all of a sudden we're in a top 4 race, top 3, top 2, and we're doing madness. We're just doing bits.
Yeah. Like I think we'll be top 4 race. I do think we'll be in the top 4 race.
I don't think so. I don't think we'll be top 4. I think
I'll keep Kane for a season for Kane to hit 35 goals. I'll keep him. You know what I mean? Keep him for that. Our top 4 is so important. You know what I mean? It's so important for us. If we don't get top 4 this year, that's a big state of decline now.
If I remember correctly, we can stretch the top 5 now, can't we? Due to the rules changing and whatnot. So we can even be in that.
Just another one more bit.
Quickly, because I've got to read this super chat, bro.
No, sorry. I apologize.
Before I read the super chat, you make sure you tell me who your signing of the summer is when you finish, because I know you ain't gonna say, you haven't said that yet.
My signing of the season.
Signing of the summer so far that we've had of all the players we've brought in.
All right, cool. All right, basically, if we somehow like not gazump Brentford, but if we like win against Brentford and we like do what we were doing in pre-season, this is the biggest test for me. I'll be on the Ange train completely. Like, because I expect Brentford to give us trouble because of what we got going on at the back. I expect Brentford to either win at best. If we get a result, I think that's massive. But like the only reason why I've got a glimmer of hope is because of what I saw with the B team in the first half against Barcelona's full strength team. I'm thinking, you know what? It may sound mad, but I might have to get that happy clapper hat on. I might have to just do it. But going to your question, Marlon, best season, best player that best signing. It has to be. I can't see past Maddison. I think Maddison
has to be.
I've been wanting Maddison. You know what it is? I've been wanting Maddison for a minute now.
Yeah.
I've been craving for a player like that's technical, that on the ball, wants it, can play that ball forward, pass. You know what I mean? even though Gio's been revived. And I think with Gio, and I know you're not convinced, Marlon, and a lot of people aren't convinced with Gio, but my thing is with Gio, because we haven't spoken about him, Lo Celso, if he can play like a deep lying playmaker, like I think the weight of pass I saw today, I think he can be the difference. I think he could even be better than Maddison, me personally, because the through balls, the link play that he's doing, for me, is showing me enough that this could be the difference. And if we can somehow embed him and Maddison and Bissouma as a midfield three, and somehow invest in some quality centre backs, brother. Listen, hey, gas mark 9. I don't even know if it goes to 9, but yeah, but cooking, but I'll gas barbecue or Angie Barbies. All right, sorry, go on. Super chat. Sorry, go on.
So, this is a first, and we're gonna ring the bell for this one. Luca, this is our first super chat since we've been able to do super chats. So, Luca, thank you so much. I'm blessed. I so appreciated. We cannot. It's like this is the start. This is the start of things, and hopefully you enjoyed the show. But as you said, good show, guys. Like your work, enjoyable chat, guys. Luca, thank you so much. So much appreciated. You don't understand. So, what I wanted to get to, right? You obviously want to know my opinion, yeah? I don't worry. You might want to know, right? And you see that I didn't agree with Madders, right? So, I'm gonna throw this out there, right? And people can clip it and what. Our window right now is an 8 out of 10, right? And I'm going to explain why. Right?
Marlon, said it was I rate it fully. But I'm here for it.
And today, and it was the day that I decided this, right? I tell you why. It's not down to any of the players we signed. Not one of them, right? For me, I've seen enough from Big Ange, yeah, in the 3 games. I don't care that he hasn't had a pre-season, right? The football that we are playing right now, the chances that we're creating, and today, right, it was Barcelona's first team, right? Let's all be honest about it. It was Barcelona's first team, and our second team went there, and they actually, half of them looked quite decent, right? Not to say they should be first team players, right? Not like the regular and things like that, but we managed for 70 minutes, right, to be 2-1 up against Barcelona. It's at the mini new camp, right? Don't get me wrong, but I have seen enough in 4 games. Is that 4 games now? 4 games to go, trust this man. Let's get behind him. That Mickey van der Ven should have been signed weeks ago when he wanted him. If that's the guy he wanted, should have had him weeks ago, right? And I think that's the signing where I've gone. And after watching Sanchez today, I've gone, and obviously your clips as well, I've gone, you know what? That's why it's an 8 out of 10. It's not the actual players we've signed. Maddison, is good. Don't get me wrong. Good signing. Solomon, I've seen enough to go. There's something there, right? Don't get me wrong. Vicario, yes, he hasn't been my favourite signing, I have to admit, but we'll see how that goes. Because he might end up being a De Gea. Because I remember when De Gea first came, couldn't catch for nothing. But for me, the signing of the summer has been the manager. And I think for once, and this is why I was going on to Jamie's point earlier.
Great answer.
This is the one time, if they got this right, and they back him, even when it's going wrong, please don't sack him. Please don't sack him, because the football that he's trying to play and what he's trying to get given the players, and I think he could make us not proud. That's probably the wrong word, but he could make Spurs fans get back together again, and all of us on one page. And that's where I'm. The one thing I've noticed, even with all the YouTubers and all on social media, the one thing we're all behind is Big Ange right now.
Yeah,
the club might be in a mess. With Joe Lewis and, Daniel Levy going on holiday during the transfer window, and everyone's like, hold on. But my thing is with him going on holiday is, if he's not involved in the club, involved in transfers anymore, he can go on holiday. He's not involved in football bits. That should be done by everyone else, right? So that could be the sign of things are changing. So for me, Big Ange for me is the sign in the summer, and that's why I'm giving it 8 out of 10. Not for the players, couldn't give crap. Right, and we know that some of the players are going to go out, right? I know we haven't got rid of all of them. Lloris, I think Lloris is waiting to be given a free transfer, if I'm being honest. I think that's what we're waiting for, because no one's going to pay him, so I think his contract will be ripped up. Sanchez obviously is never going to go to Russia, let's be completely honest. So we're just waiting for another bid. Dyer, I think, will stay. I think Jamie's right. I think Longley will be the other defender, right? But I won't be mad at it. It will just be, look, at the end of the day, if Ange says, I'll take Longley, I'm willing to give this man a chance. Right after Conte football, which I didn't mind. I always said that I didn't mind, but everyone else hated it. Jose football, which I was like, he's stinking up the place here. And the way Poch ended, I'm relieved. I think, and I couldn't, if we finished 8th this year, but we get to see the football we saw for 70 minutes today, what we saw against Sailors, right? And what we saw against West Ham in that second half, because we were good in that second half. I know West Ham ain't the best pre-season. And Shakhtar as well. We were good. Everyone's saying Kane can't play the system. Do you remember last week I said he can to Has? Yeah. And I said he can play the system. He just ain't finishing off his chances.
Yeah.
If we're gonna get this amount of chances, I'm gonna sit there and say, and I'm gonna say it with my chest, big edge from me has been the sun in the summer. And when we did it was me, you, and Matt that did the video. Do you remember? Mm-hmm. And I wasn't 100% convinced at the time. I was a bit disappointed we didn't go and get Nagelsmann.
I remember. Yeah. Turned around.
And yeah, I've just watched the football and I've gone, you know what? I can see what this man's trying to do. Right at Celtic, because he had weaker squads, I was like, you know what? But I've now learned he will get done by the pups.
He's just patterned up, my bro. That's all he's done. He said, "Listen, that was the level there, and I had these tools. This is the level here, and I've got these tools." But he said, at the end of the day, I'm not a man to complain of what I got. I work with what I've got, and that's it. And that's it. It's done.
I think the thing as well, like I think every fan's behind him, and I think when Conte and Mourinho were losing, the fans were quick to jump down their neck. I think the fans are going to give him time. If he doesn't perform, I think the fans are going to give him the time. I don't think it's going to be Angel. I think he's got that, because he's come in, he's coming from no disrespect to Celtic, you know what I mean? He's come in, and I think what he's trying to do, if you look at when we were in our mini heyday, we had the best team. We had Ericsson, and we had the Jan, Toby, and we had Lloris. We had a decent spine. You can see slowly that's getting replaced now, You know what I mean? Our attackers have always been decent, wingers have been decent. The fullbacks question, what you said, Ash, I'm quite confident if Basuma does his job well, and then and Van de Ven's got the pace. I'm happy for these fullbacks to be pushing up a bit. You look at the shots we're getting. I mean, these 30+ shots a game. Kane's it's dangerous. It's dangerous. Kane got 30 goals last year for a team that finished 8th, and we had hardly any chances. What the hell is he going to do next year?
And just seeing us against a good team today, and the fact do you know what? I tell you who I've been really impressed with this pre-season, right? And I really hope we don't get rid of him, Perisic. Yes. We need to keep that guy.
Yes.
But does he want to stay? That's the question. Does he want to stay?
Well, this is the thing. The games he's got an assist in every game that he's played.
Yeah, but he's playing for him as well now. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. I said this a lot last year when Son wasn't playing well. Son should have moved that to the right when Kulusevski was having a stinker.
Yeah.
They should put Perisic at top with him. And I said it was a tactical tweak. That's all they had to do, and no one tried it. Because Son can play on the right, but I'm not the manager.
Yeah.
but
he's on
Jamie,
he's on a big wage as well, isn't he? I think that's a slight.
Mate, I'd keep him because the amount of assists he's going to get, and he doesn't have to play 90 minutes.
Yeah, but what's he 33, 34 now? But he's still fit.
That cross that he put for Skip on that second goal.
Yeah.
No one in our team puts that cross in.
Yeah.
Nobody.
And he was man out, He's like, the commentator's like, it's only a preseason friendly. Boom! Shoulder the keeper. Bam! Shoulder the next man. He said, I don't care. That's what I want. I want smoke. And I think all of them are enjoying the football. Main thing, my bro. Like the environment at the moment.
They're enjoying it now. Wait till the season starts and they're not playing. That's when it's all going to start.
On Sunday.
When Richarlison's not even in the squad, and he's like, what?
he's on doing bits as well. I think Richie's on doing some bits this year. I want him to do well. I really want Richarlison to do well. I think he loves the club. His passion.
You can see.
I want him to do well, man.
You know what? To be fair, in the first half, even though he didn't play well in this game, he did a through ball into Manon Solomon. I think Solomon had a one-on-one kind of chance. He hit
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
But the weight of pass from Rich, I was like, I didn't think he had that in him because normally his passes stink.
It was a great spot, and I can't believe he saw it and actually played it. It was such a good spot, and it's just unfortunate Solomon ain't confident enough to. Yeah. But it was a great move. This is what I love.
You're getting the manager now. Get players that, like we saw with Sanchez, like who's dead, but he's getting players that aren't even play that we don't rate. Like remember No one was talking about Gio like the way we're talking about Gio right
Yeah, but Gio's always had a bit of magic in him. Even when
Yes.
he's always had a little bit of that South American flair. But unfortunately, he always slowed the play too much. But if you do that correctly and efficiently, it's effective.
now.
You know?
This game, he was not slugging nothing down. He was.
Yeah.
He's just basically keeping it simple. You see what I'm trying to say? He's keeping it simple.
I like him.
He's doing it well. He's doing it well. Certain times I thought, oh, that pass was a little bit behind you, but that's me nitpicking.
But I read today that Barca apparently are interested in Gio. You know,
after that game.
No, like even before that, Xavi wanted him as well. But the thing is, I think if a price comes in for him that it's attractive, 20 mil, I think
they're in trouble. Barca are in trouble. I'm telling you, they're in
finance. I think they'll let him go. I think they'll let him go if a price was to come in for him. You know,
and said, why go to Spain? Stay here.
I think Ange's impressed him. I think you can see it in his body language as well with Gio that he's more.
I think that's both. Yeah, I think on Dembele getting injured now. I think his time's up. I think Marlon. It was one or the other. I think everyone was swearing towards on Dembele at the start. But to be fair, I think his attitude. I think he's not right for Tottenham. You know, people say he's magical. He was only magical in France. You know what I mean? His first stint, he's done nothing in Italy, nothing in the Premiership. He's had a few glimpses of magic, a goal here and there, but for the wage you're on and the price point you come at, it's atrocious. You know, to put it nicely, his time's up. You know.
And as always, we always leave our guests with the last word. always leave our guests with the last word. Jamie, I'm going to ask you something now.
Yes.
Because I know if I get it live on stream, you have to come back.
No more.
But I'd love if you could come back next week when we do our show, the Tuesday one with Tactics, if you're available.
Yeah, Tuesday. I'm around.
Yeah. I'll make sure Ash contacts you.
All right.
Brilliant guest tonight. It's just that there's a lot of other streams going on, and I want to get you on again because actually this has worked, right? So Ash, he's coming on next week. He's our guest again. Yeah.
Tuesday, let's do it.
I've laid down the law. Thank you to everyone in the chat. As always, been absolutely brilliant. You've kept us going again for longer than we were supposed to, as always, because you've been getting involved. Thank you to Luca14 again for our first super chat. That's going to be highlighted now, and we're going to put that somewhere so we know it was you that gave us our first one. As always, we've got a show on Thursday, a call-in show. So anybody the Has and Has show is going to call in show on Thursday. So if anyone's available, call in. They'll chat about the weekend coming up. Hotspur has got a preview show on Friday. I think he's going to do it about 6:00 as well, that he's going to do for Brentford. And then we'll have the match reactions. We're back on Sunday. We are back. We're going to be doing the match reactions again. But Ash, and Jamie's now said he is, are going to be back next Tuesday, a bit earlier, between 9:00 and 9:15. And we're going to go through the tactics of Brentford, and we'll go through any more transfers. We've got a couple more transfers to take you through as well. But
definitely,
as always, everyone's been brilliant. And as Judge Jones says, leave a like. And not, oh my God, Scott M's actually saying something positive at the beginning, and then he gets me.
I big up Scott M. I love Scott M.
Yeah. Scott M's always in our chat after our match reactions, and whenever Spurs lose, he knows I don't host. So he gets me. It just happened to be a pattern. It wasn't my fault. It was just the way it was. But yeah, thanks to everyone. As always, come on you Spurs, and big Ange for the title.